We are back for another engaging conversation with four brothers who are going to keep it real. Because when men talk,
You might just want to listen.
The election is over. We have a woman of color as our vice president. Joe Biden is the president, no longer the president-elect. Where do we go from here?
Where we go from here is putting pressure on both of them to do their job. Because Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Nevada, Arizona, and let's not forget about Georgia, did their thing as the black and brown votes put them in the office. So it's time. The only thing we need to do now is continue to put the pressure on them as they put their plan together for the next 100 days to represent and do the things that they said that they would do to be elected.
absolutely. Your point is 100%. Just because they are president and vice president does not mean we do not have to step up our game 100%. It's going to be still up to us to help our communities even more than before. It's going to be up to us to make sure that we are letting those millennials who aren't still engaged, the Generation Zs who are not engaged, to recognize that their vote has power. They can't say that it doesn't anymore. I give it to them in the past that things happen, but right now this is proof that we have a voice. Now we're going to step it up.
But my question is, how do we do that, really? Because if you look at it, there were 70 million people who voted on the opposite side. Our country is divided straight down the middle. There is a big divide. You say just get out there and do it. How can we do it when half of the country, literally half of the country, thinks one way and the other half of the country thinks a totally different way? And it ain't like let's play in the middle here and let's negotiate. It's like I'm taking my ball and I'm going home because we didn't win. How do you do that when you got a country that's so divided? How do we do that?
Look, that question is like right on point. We saw the 70 million storm the Capitol, but I'm not going to talk about that again. But it's like, I think we have to be more empowered to not rely on the government. I'm for it. I'm 100%. My vote mattered. But I'm making sure to do more mentoring. I'm making sure to do things and produce things that get these kids involved in politics. And then we hope, and I gotta say it again, we hope that America will forget the party lines and kind of just forget that we had that going on and see what the Biden-Harris camp is going to produce for the people. And I think if we do that, if they do that, they'll see that they're going to be better off than we were for the last 4 years. If nothing else, America is not going to look at us like we're crazy, like internationally, they're not going to look at us like we're crazy, like they were doing.
But that's not going to happen. They're going to come in just to try to be different, just to try to be opposed. They're going to try to stop everything to say, look, Biden-Harris don't work. Biden-Harris didn't do what they're supposed to do just to be adversary. Same thing they did with Obama. If you look at it, Obama's everything that he tried to do, they tried to stop it at the front. So he couldn't get nothing accomplished, nothing passed. Now, the House is taken care of. But what I'm saying to you is, how are we going to do that when you got people totally opposed to the way that the other side thinks?
Here's what I would say.
Great question, man.
Here's what I would say.
What do you say, Sunday?
You take a book, a page out of Amos N. Wilson, Marcus Garvey, and leave. Straight up. We're not going to get our reparations. What is it that black people want? We want to stop getting killed in the street. That's what we want. Is that going to stop? It ain't going to stop. We want to get fair jobs. What is the job going to do? It's going to keep you a slave is what it's going to do. Break free of that, and we just leave the country. That's what I say we do. We're not getting reparations.
I knew something was coming.
We're not getting reparations. We ain't getting.
Where you go? Where you out of the country? So yeah, I see.
Anywhere other than America, I promise you, straight up.
Sure, I'm not sure where.
It could be a few, but see, we have to understand every cultural, people. There's corruption everywhere. America just has it so much down pat that we don't even see it's corruption. We won't even call it corruption. We'll think it's a bowl of chocolate instead of a bowl. You dig what I'm saying? Real talk.
No, real talk.
No. We identify it as corruption, and you and I, Sunday, we've been having this conversation for a long time. At the end of the day, we built this country.
Yes.
So in us building this country, it's kind of hard for me to come in and say, well, you know what, I'm going to build this house, and then I'm going to let this white boy just come and just take the house and call it his. So at the end of the day, we understand that, and I don't want this to come across like I'm just beating up on white people, because I got white people I got good relationships with. But at the end of the day, we're talking about the division of those that jump behind Trump and those that didn't get behind, that don't believe in a lot of the tenets that he subscribed to put us in the position that we were in. And for those that stood up behind him, even like Jared was talking about earlier, they still, after the insurrection came in, and still voted against this man, actually. So
Like,
I'm saying,
but see, that shows me that it'll never be ours. It'll never. How many examples do we need? It'll never be ours. Our labor, we just need to cut that and go somewhere else where we are appreciated, where we love, we respected, we understood. They want to seek to understand us, and we just need to go somewhere else, man. Take our black dollars elsewhere. Look at Akon.
Well, first off,
look, I'm sorry, Zeke.
Go ahead.
Speaking of Akon,
I hear. Here's the thing, Sunday. I feel your passion, but the bigger challenge is that not everybody has the wherewithal to be able to pick up and go to where you at right now.
Huh?
I said not everybody has the wherewithal to pick up their family and go, overseas. And so back to Charles's point, what do we do now? Considering the split is so, it's like you said, it's a thin line. You step over the line on the left, you in one world. You step on the right, you're on another world. At some point, we're going to have to decide on how, and you just mentioned this Sunday, take our dollars, our community dollars, and reinvest in who we want to be, and hope that that's going to be enough. Train our kids. Educate our children on not only what to do for the future. And Charles, you mentioned on Sunday, you mentioned this a lot when you're talking about Bitcoins and cryptocurrency, what's out there in the future. But we also got to make sure our kids know about the past, and that what got us here was the blood and sweat and tears that we went through, what we went through as a culture, and what we survived as a culture to get to this point. That same power that we use is still here. We just now have to re-energize.
So one thing I'll say about that real quick, Jared, is that we gotta keep the energy up. See, what happened, the same thing when Obama won, everybody's excited. We got a person of color in the office. They took their foot off the gas, and then 8 years later, you see kind of what happened. And then now everybody's excited. We got our first woman in the office, our first woman of color is in the office, first woman, period. We got Trump out of there. What are we gonna do? We can't take our foot off the gas. There's a vote next year for local offices. There's gonna be a vote 2 years from now for local offices. The presidential election is not gonna happen for another 4 years. We gotta stay engaged. We got to stay locked in. We got to continue to keep educating people. Remember this day. Remember the day. If you got to take pictures, if you got to take and look back on it in a month from now, because the energy is going to go down naturally as humans. But we got to figure a way to keep engaged, keep the excitement going.